Legends is the latest installment in the arcade racing series Grid. After a few ups and downs over its nearly 25-year-long history, Legends has us hitting the track once more, with some new and old faces from the series.
Along with a meaty career mode, Grid Legends also gives players the option of going through a pretty decently sized story mode called Driven to Glory. You are driver 22, a nameless, faceless rookie and recent addition to the underdog racing team Seneca, who's gunning for that World Series glory alongside their arch rivals, Team Raven West. Cutscenes are played out like a documentary, filmed with mixed reality technology, using live-action performances mixed in with special effects to mimic the in-game world. It's a bit weird, but there are some fun performances to enjoy, even if the story is a bit cookie cutter.
Yeah, I found myself skipping most of the cutscenes. It's more like a 6-hour-long crash course in what to expect from the career mode. The menu is neatly broken up into different categories, which you'll slowly unlock by participating and placing well. And I say slowly because while most of the objectives to meet are place in this position or higher, there are a few events that will stay locked until you've gotten enough kilometers on a vehicle to unlock its upgrades, which usually means having to replay past levels to earn those Ks. That railroading was a bit annoying when I just wanted to do my own thing, but it does force you to get out of your comfort zone and experiment.
Yeah, and you do learn pretty quickly what works and what doesn't when you're behind the wheel of certain vehicles. For instance, trucks are top-heavy and don't love sharp turns, while touring cars are super speedy and need that extra level of care when braking so you don't go bouncing off the walls. Depending on how you want to play, you can tweak settings like tuning, opponent AI, and visible damage to make it feel more realistic, as opposed to the dodge 'em car-like, physics-defying stunt show that I enjoy. I could even do with a bit more chaos.
That's because you drive like a mad woman. If you generally prefer racing sims, then this isn't quite up to the level of Gran Turismo or Forza, but I do like that it gives you the option to tailor your experience.
I don't know about you, but I did find some of the tracks a bit lacking in excitement, regardless of how I tweak the settings. Though the environments are pretty, a lot of the tracks aren't particularly interesting, lacking that flow that would have me on the edge of my seat, desperately clutching a win. They're still enjoyable, but not memorable.
I don't know how much I agree with that, but I do think that most of the fun is in those opening few laps when you're neck and neck with the other racers. Between the story and career modes, there's only a handful of AI names, so you quickly get familiar with them alongside you. It's a bit silly, but even though they're mostly faceless AI, I kind of like having something to mutter under my breath menacingly when they overtake me. What, you think you're better than me? Isabella, no!
Oh, don't worry, same here. And sometimes, when that happens, you have to put them in their place. And that is how you get a nemesis. Or in my case, several. This is a returning feature from Grid 2019, where if you accidentally run into a competitor's vehicle enough times, they'll become aggressive and hold a grudge against you for the rest of the race, and now sometimes even into other races. It's all very dramatic, but super fun to have these little rivalries between characters as we battle it out for first place.
And if the AI isn't challenging enough for you, you can go against real-world players in online multiplayer, either by creating a match yourself or by joining someone else's. Once you find a game, you can jump in relatively seamlessly, taking over previously AI-controlled cars so you don't have to awkwardly sit in a lobby waiting for a match to end. Unfortunately, at the time of review, there was no couch co-op, which is a bit of a shame because I always do my best racing when I'm aggressively leaning on the other person.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my shoulder has the bruises to prove it. There's a lot to enjoy in Grid Legends, and by all accounts, it's a pretty solid racer. But it's not doing anything particularly unique to set it above other similar titles. Though I did enjoy the Nemesis system and the variety of vehicles, even if most of them ended up absolutely totaled. It's going to be 3 out of 5 rubber chickens from me.
Something that I really like about Grid Legends is how it tries to satisfy both sides of the racing spectrum. From the detail-oriented sim fans to the more chaotic arcade racers. There's something for everyone, with enough room to experiment and see what works for you. It's definitely the kind of racer that I can see myself coming back to grind my teeth on. So I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens. Curse you, Isabella!